Let's have a quick look at what's happening in Jharkhand and what the poll of polls are saying. But first, to understand that state, it's an extremely rich state in terms of minerals and coal, iron ore, natural resources, but the people are terribly poor. It's one of the amongst the poorest in this country. Let's have a look at the regional strengths in Jharkhand. On the northeast, on the right hand side on top, 12 seats, that's the Santhal area. The tribals, who in due respect to my colleague Appan Menon said, please don't ever call them tribals, call them ethnic minorities. But we'll always remember that, but call them tribals because of the scheduled tribe and what people generally know them as. That's the Santhal area in the north. The central area, which is a mixed bag, but predominantly non-tribal area. The southeast, southwest, Gumla, Singhbhum area, which is again tribal, mostly Christian tribal areas. And then the scheduled caste area in the northwest. Now the strengths are basically in the northeast, the Santhal area, the Jharkhand Mukti Morcha. Remember, the tribals really fought for an independent state, independent of Bihar, of Jharkhand, an autonomous state. The tribals fought, and every chief minister has been a tribal, even though the tribals are less than 35% of the population. 26%. Plus scheduled caste make it 35, that's correct. So that area, Jharkhand Mukti Morcha, in the southeast, even though it's tribal and predominantly Christian, as different from the Santhal area, the BJP tends to dominate there. And in the central area, non-tribal BJP dominate. And in the northeast, northwest, the scheduled caste area with 11 seats, in the last assembly elections, the Congress seemed to dominate. But what's the history been ever since it's had been an independent state since 2000? You've had 9 chief ministers and 2 bouts of president's rule. It first started with Babulal Marandi of the BJP. He's still considered the most honest politician in Jharkhand.
But not practical enough, as they say.
Not practical enough. That's right. And the sad part is that to say you're the most honest person in Jharkhand is really saying nothing. It's really, the standards are, it is a state riddled with corruption that have let the people down. Then came Arjun Munda of the BJP without an election. They got rid of Marandi and Arjun Munda came in. Then the election of 2005 where the Shibu Soren came in, the father of the independent state of
No, that's
Jharkhand.
not quite true.
The
I
great,
think Shibu Soren is the father.
You're talking 100 years ago.
Jaipal Singh and things.
Jaipal Singh, and even before that. 100 years ago in 1885 it started, so you were on the line.
Lots of people. Jaipal Singh, as an aside, I can tell you that Jaipal Singh saved all of India from compulsory prohibition because he was a member of the Constituent Assembly and he opposed it most vocally, and he said, for my tribals, it's a way of life. Besides the fact that he captained India's first Olympic gold-winning team.
I hope the people of Kerala, the politicians, the Congress government in Kerala are listening to you. Then Arjun Munda came back for his second of his 3 terms. Then in 2006, he got deposed, and in came Madhu Koda, who's now
you would put at the opposite end of the spectrum of Babulal Marandi. The way you classify Babulal Marandi.
Well, he's the norm, actually. Yes. Then Shibu Soren came
He's
back.
a very practical Jharkhandi politician.
Very practical, exactly. President's rule in 2009. Just look at these 14 years in a state. Talk about misrule. Shibu Soren comes back for the 3rd time. Arjun Munda comes back 1 year later for the 3rd time. President's rule in 2013. And then the current Chief Minister, Hemant Soren, son of Shibu Soren.
In addition to these, there were 8 governors.
8 governors.
8 governors, 10 chief secretaries, and 14 DGs of police.
Some of those governors also reflected the political culture of the state.
Absolutely. To put it like that's a euphemism if I've heard one. And so what is in this mess? There are basically 4 parties here. What do the opinion polls say, or the exit polls? Here are the poll of polls. BJP, 47 seats, a clear majority. on its own, that will be the first time in a long time. The JMM 14, Jharkhand Mukti Morcha, the Congress 7, the JVM, Babulal Marandi 6, and others 7. Siddharth, but Dora, when we went around there, the Congress is just nowhere. It's just given up. It's just like, I mean, actually you can almost take any state and say the Congress is going to get 4 to 6 seats. Any state. It's
I think in 09, the fact that you had an alliance between the RJD, Congress, JMM, there was some talk of trying to revive that the way the alliance worked for the by-elections in Bihar. But that didn't fructify, and instead the BJP stole a march on the Congress by tying up with the AJSU and LJP, a couple of seats, 1 seat for them. So I think that Congress is not in the running, and
and they've not given up.
But Pranoy, the Congress in the whole state of Bihar itself has been
declared
for 20-25 years.
Right.
And this area was, for the national parties, they were not very strong. I mean, the leaders came from Bihar and not from Jharkhand. Is the Jharkhand Mukti Morcha and parties like that, the top leaders of Bihar came from tribal, because Jharkhand Mukti Morcha didn't have any leaders in Patna.
Right.
All the other guys like leaders in real Bihar. So, the Congress weak, regardless in Bihar, and even weaker. At least the BJP co-opted number of tribal leaders and gave them good positions. So that's how they got the ministers.
Right. Now, just to make a point that it's 8:01 and counting has started. Let's go across to Alok Pandey, who's been following the elections in Jharkhand. He's in Ranchi. Alok, counting started, so in about 5 minutes from now we should get our first leads. But it's like, is this election really all been about Narendra Modi? He's campaigned strongly there. The local leaders there don't seem to be either not very well. Nobody knows who a BJP chief minister will be. Nobody knows who the Congress leader is. Only the regional parties, there are clear leaders. But is this election all about Narendra Modi this time?
Well, yes, in a sense, for sure, Dr. Roy, because Narendra Modi has been the BJP star campaigner and the face of the campaign here in Jharkhand. When we were going around in the elections and when you were also going around in the elections, all that we saw of the BJP were big posters and banners with Mr. Modi's face plastered all over. You had a few regional leaders like Arjun Munda and Yashwant Sinha perhaps sharing some space on those posters and banners, but the predominant campaign of the BJP here has been led by Narendra Modi. But I think it would be also fair to say that the JMM and particularly Hemant Soren, at least in terms of posters, banners and public meetings, has given a tough fight to Mr. Modi. He's also gone and addressed multiple rallies. You have seen multiple posters of the Jharkhand Mukti Morcha with his face and his father Shibu Soren's face also. But at the end, like you say, the exit polls are now pointing out that the BJP might be headed for a clear majority, and that's why all the action is here at the BJP office. Many camera crews, many OB vans. The leaders expected to arrive. Like you pointed out again, that Arjun Munda and the rest of the people at the moment very mum, because the BJP right now not revealing its card about who will be its chief ministerial candidate if it does come to power here independently. Mr. Munda came in yesterday from Delhi. He's been at his home. We are hearing that he'll come here to the BJP office at about 11 in the morning. Many other candidates in the fray also. It will be seen once the results are coming out as to how this pans out for the BJP through the day.
Right. Alok, in the sense that if the polls are right and if the BJP does form a majority, who's your guess? Who's the favorite to be the chief minister?
Well, there are many names that we are hearing, Dr. Roy. One of them, of course, is Arjun Munda. But Arjun Munda in the past has run governments that have not been too successful in at least developing the state. He, of course, has always pointed out that he was running governments in coalitions with difficult allies like the Jharkhand Mukti Morcha. So he is perhaps, but then he is one of the big tribal faces also of Jharkhand, of the BJP. So his name certainly in contention. Then you are hearing the name of Raghuvar Das. He's a very senior leader with the BJP here in Jharkhand. There is Saryu Rai, who, by Arun Jaitley's own admission in a press conference recently, has prepared the BJP's manifestos in Jharkhand and undivided Bihar for many, many years. So he's somebody who's seen as a tough, honest person, somebody who has the ability to lead a state like this. Again, the problem with him being that not very well known, not a big leader like Arjun Munda. We also heard the names of a few IAS officers who've taken voluntary retirement to contest elections on the BJP ticket, like JB Tubit, for example. He was the Home Secretary, again known as a good administrator. So really, at this moment, many names are being thrown into this pool of who will be the Chief Minister if the BJP comes to power. But I think we will get to know more we'll have more clarity once the results start coming in and the BJP is actually confident that they will get a majority. The sweets have been prepared, Dr. Roy, they're all inside. They haven't bought them outside yet. I think they will do that after 10 or 11 if this goes according to their prediction.